I'm Dr. Sarah, and after more than 2 decades of working with men over 60, I can tell you something that might surprise you. The key to improving your intimate life, your stamina, and even your daily energy might already be sitting quietly in your kitchen cabinet. I'm talking about baking soda. Yes, the same white powder you might use to bake bread, vascular health, and intimate performance that almost no one talks about. And before you think this is some internet gimmick, let me assure you, what I'm about to share is rooted in science, backed by physiology, and supported by real results I've seen in my own patients. But there's a reason most men have never heard of it. No pharmaceutical company can patent it. And there's no big profit in telling you something so simple could make such a 70s and even 80s who come into my clinic with the same look in their eyes. A mix of frustration, embarrassment, and a quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, something could help them feel like themselves again. They tell me about the slow changes they've noticed over the years: erections that aren't as firm or don't last as long, a decline in morning wood, less sensation, lower energy. Some even admit they've stopped being intimate altogether, not because they don't want to, but because they're afraid of disappointing their partner now. Here's the thing: most people, even some doctors, overlook. As we age, our bodies undergo changes at the micro level. The tiny blood vessels that supply the penis with oxygen-rich blood can become less flexible, less responsive, and more prone to constriction. Add in decades of dietary habits, mild dehydration, and a gradual buildup of acidity in the body, and you've got a perfect storm for reduced blood flow. And when blood flow suffers, so does performance. This is where baking soda comes into the picture. Chemically known as sodium bicarbonate, baking soda acts as a powerful alkalizing agent. It helps balance your body's pH levels, reducing excess acidity that can damage the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. When your blood vessels are healthier, they can relax more easily, allowing more blood to flow where it's needed most, including to your manhood. I remember one of my patients, Richard, who came to me at 64 years old. He had tried the little blue pills, but they gave him headaches and a flushed face, and they stopped working after a while. He'd given up hope. When I mentioned baking soda, he actually laughed. "Doc, are you telling me this stuff I clean my sink with is going to fix that?" But he trusted me enough to try. Within 2 weeks of following my specific routine, he came back with a smile I'll never forget. Not only were his erections firmer, but he was waking up with morning wood for the first time in years. Well, let's just say his wife thanked me too now. Before you rush to your pantry and start chugging baking soda, listen carefully. The key is in how you use it. Too much can be harmful, especially if you have certain health conditions like high blood pressure or kidney issues. And timing matters when you take it. What you mix it with, and how often, all play a role in how effective it is. There's a safe, controlled way to harness baking soda's benefits without risking side effects. You see, doesn't work as well in an acidic environment. By restoring a more alkaline balance, baking soda indirectly boosts nitric oxide's effectiveness. For a man over 60, that smooth opening can mean the difference between frustration and satisfaction. And this isn't just about intimacy. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients delivered to your muscles, your brain, your heart. I've had men tell me they feel sharper mentally, less fatigued during the day, and even recover faster from exercise. All from a kitchen staple they'd ignored for decades. There's something deeply powerful about taking control of your health with a simple, inexpensive tool. I've seen men regain their confidence, repair strained relationships, and rediscover the joy of connection, both physical and emotional, simply by addressing their body's chemistry in a natural way. And baking soda, when used correctly, is one of the fastest, most effective ways I've found to do that. But here's the truth: this isn't a magic bullet. You can't drink baking soda once and expect to be transformed overnight. It's about consistent daily action. It's about creating an internal environment where your body can thrive, where your blood vessels stay open and responsive, and where your confidence can grow from a place of real, lasting change. In the next part, I'm going to explain exactly what happens inside your body when you take baking soda, how it interacts with your blood chemistry, and why it can make such a profound difference in your intimate health. And I'll tell you the most common mistakes men make when trying this. Mistakes that can completely cancel out the benefits or even cause harm. Stay with me. You're about to understand why something so ordinary might just be the most extraordinary thing you've ever done for your health, your performance, and your life after 60. Let's go deeper. If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed changes in your performance, stamina, or overall vitality, it's not just getting older, it's the result of changes in your body's chemistry, blood flow, and cellular function. And this is where baking soda comes in ways most people have never been told. When you dissolve baking soda in water and drink it, something remarkable happens almost immediately. Your body's buffering system gets a boost. Your blood has a very narrow pH range around 7.35 to 7.45, and maintaining it is critical for survival. As you age, especially if your diet is heavy in processed foods, sugar, and low in greens, your body tends to become slightly more acidic. That acidity can interfere with the efficiency of your cardiovascular system, including the small arteries and capillaries that supply blood to the penis. Why is this important? They depend entirely on the ability of your blood vessels to open wide and stay open long enough to fill the erectile tissue. If your endothelial cells, the lining of your blood vessels, are damaged or inflamed from years of oxidative stress and acidity, they simply can't respond well to the signal from nitric oxide, the molecule that tells them to relax. The result? Softer erections, slower arousal, and difficulty maintaining firmness. Now, here's the fascinating part. Sodium bicarbonate baking soda helps neutralize excess acidity in your blood and tissues, creating a more favorable environment for nitric oxide to work. When the blood vessels are bathed in a slightly more alkaline environment, they relax more easily. This means more blood can flow where it needs to go, whether that's your brain for focus, your muscles for strength, or your penis for intimacy. One of my patients, Leonard, age 69, had been dealing with chronic fatigue and declining performance for nearly a decade. He'd been told by other doctors that it was just part of aging. But when we tested his blood chemistry, his bicarbonate levels were low, and his blood was leaning toward acidity. We introduced a carefully measured baking soda routine, just half a teaspoon dissolved in a tall glass of water, taken on an empty stomach in the morning 3 days a week to start. Within 10 days, Leonard called my office to tell me something had shifted. He was waking up with stronger erections, he could last longer during intimacy, and even his afternoon energy crashes had disappeared, like you've come back to life. And this isn't some placebo effect. There are actual physiological mechanisms at work. Improved microcirculation. Baking soda reduces blood viscosity, thickness, capillaries, the kind that feed erectile tissue. Reduced inflammation. An alkaline environment reduces low-grade vascular inflammation, which is one of the silent killers of male performance. Better oxygen delivery. With more efficient circulation, oxygen delivery to tissues improves, enhancing muscle recovery and sexual stamina. Support for mitochondria. Your cell's power plants work better when the pH is balanced, leading to more energy for everything you do, including intimacy. However, I must stress something. More is not better. Baking soda is a powerful substance, and if taken in excessive amounts or too frequently, it can cause problems like elevated sodium levels, bloating, or even dangerous shifts in your blood chemistry. That's why I tell my patients, there's a safe entry point and an optimal dosage. If you mix it with sugary drinks or alcohol, you're undoing much of the benefit. The best delivery method I've found is in plain filtered water, sometimes with a squeeze of fresh lemon to aid digestion and mineral balance. And it's not just about drinking it. Combining this with simple daily habits can supercharge the results. Drinking more water throughout the day to stay hydrated, adding leafy greens for additional alkalizing minerals like magnesium and potassium, walking at least 20 minutes a day to keep circulation active. When men commit to this simple routine, the changes are often profound, not just physically but emotionally. I've seen men who felt done in their love life suddenly become passionate partners again. I've seen strained marriages revive because a man had the energy, confidence, and desire to connect again. Let me also bust a dangerous myth. Baking soda is not a replacement for a healthy lifestyle, a catalyst that works best when paired with movement, better food choices, and a commitment to hydration. Think of it like adding fuel to a well-maintained engine. But if the parts are in decent shape, that fuel can make it run like new. There's also a subtle mental benefit. Something intentional for his health every morning, he shifts into a proactive mindset. That psychological boost often translates into better self-care across the board. Improved diet, more exercise, and less stress. And when stress goes down, testosterone and performance go up in the next block. I'm going to reveal the exact daily protocol I give to my private patients, the timing, dosage, and adjustments I make for different body weights and health conditions. I'll also share what not to do because there are 3 common mistakes that can completely cancel out the benefits of baking soda for male health. Stay with me, because we're about to turn this from theory into a concrete plan that can change not just your intimate life, but your entire quality of life after. All right, gentlemen, now that you understand why baking soda can be such a game changer for men's intimate health, let's talk about how to actually use it safely, effectively, and in a way that produces results you can feel. First, you need to know that baking soda is not a take it once and you're fixed kind of thing. Your body thrives on consistency. What we're aiming for here is a gradual, sustained improvement in blood flow, vascular health, and energy, not a quick spike that fades overnight. the core protocol I give my patients I'm going to outline. The exact method I've developed for my private male patients over the past 14 years. These men range from 58 to 83 years old, and every single one who followed this correctly reported improvements, some subtle, some dramatic in their sexual performance, stamina, and morning energy levels. The dose start with 1/2 teaspoon of pure baking soda sodium bicarbonate, not baking powder, and make sure it's aluminum-free and food grade. This amount is gentle enough for most men, but still strong enough to begin shifting your body's acid-alkaline balance. The water, mix it into a full 8 to 10 ounces, about 250 to 300 milliliters of room temperature, filtered water. Cold water can cause mild stomach discomfort in some men, especially on an empty stomach, so room temperature is best. The timing: take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. This allows it to enter your system without interference from food or other beverages. To start, for example, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, this pulse dosing prevents sodium overload and gives your body time to adapt. After 2 weeks, if no bloating or discomfort occurs, you can increase to 4 to 5 days a week. But I rarely recommend daily use for most men, unless under direct medical supervision. The add-on option: if you want an extra boost, you can add a squeeze of fresh lemon juice, about 1 teaspoon, to the mix, and it also helps with mineral absorption. Why this works so well? Taking baking soda this way gives your bloodstream an immediate buffering capacity boost. Within minutes, your pH shifts slightly toward the alkaline side, reducing vascular inflammation and letting nitric oxide do its job more efficiently. Region open more readily. For many men, this translates into stronger, longer-lasting erections within days or weeks. But here's the thing: if you mess up the basics, you'll either see no results or, worse, cause problems. That's why I'm going to walk you through the 3 most common mistakes I see men make when trying baking soda for sexual health. Mistake number 1: taking it with the wrong drinks. You've seen men stir baking soda into orange juice, soda, even beer, and then wonder why it doesn't work. Here's why that's a disaster. Sugary or acidic drinks neutralize and overwhelm the alkaline effect we're aiming for. In the case of alcohol, you're adding a dehydrating inflammatory agent that works directly against your circulation. The solution: always take it with plain filtered water, nothing else. Mistake number 2: overdosing. Some men think if 1/2 teaspoon is good, then 1 tablespoon will be amazing. Water retention, bloating, and even dangerously high blood pressure. In extreme cases, it can cause metabolic alkalosis, a serious condition that disrupts normal heart rhythm. Remember, in medicine, the dose makes the difference between a cure and a poison. Start small and only increase within the safe range I've outlined. Mistake number 3: ignoring the rest of your lifestyle. Baking soda is not a magic wand. If you're still smoking, eating processed junk daily, and getting 0 exercise, you're fighting uphill. Blood vessels need movement to stay flexible. Think of baking soda as the accelerator, but you still have to steer the car in the right direction. The real-life example that proves the point: let me tell you about Paul, a 72-year-old retired engineer who came to me convinced his intimate life was over. He had been struggling for years, and prescription pills gave him headaches and heart palpitations. When I introduced him to this baking soda protocol, he was skeptical, but he followed it exactly same time, same days, same water. By week 3, he told me something unexpected. "Sarah, my wife noticed before I did. We were talking in the kitchen and she just stopped and said, 'You look different.' She didn't mean my face, she meant the way I carried myself. Better stamina during intimacy, and most importantly, a boost in confidence that spilled over into other areas of his life. The gentle power of consistency. That's the beauty of this approach. It's simple, inexpensive, and easy to integrate into your morning routine. But it only works if you commit. Men who try it once in a while rarely see big results. Years younger, not just in the bedroom, but in their overall vitality in the next block. I'm going to give you the performance stack I recommend to my over 60 patients. A combination of baking soda with 2 other natural ingredients that supercharge nitric oxide production, blood vessel elasticity, and energy. When you combine them correctly, the results are faster, stronger, and last much longer without the side effects of pharmaceuticals. Now that you know exactly how to integrate baking soda into your morning routine without falling into the common traps, it's time to take things one step further. What I'm about to share with you is something I usually only reveal to my private patients, the men who walk into my clinic looking for a complete turnaround in their intimate performance and overall energy. It's what I call my triple performance stack. And it works because it addresses all 3 pillars of male sexual function after 60, blood flow, hormone support, and vascular elasticity. You see, baking soda on its own is fantastic for improving blood vessel responsiveness. But if you combine it with the right partners, the results can go from noticeable to life-changing. The 3 ingredients before we dive into the exact method. Let's break down the 3 elements of this stack. Baking soda, you already know the role it plays. Reducing systemic acidity, boosting nitric oxide efficiency, and lowering vascular inflammation. This is your foundation. Beetroot powder. Rich in natural nitrates. Beetroot powder is one of the most potent nitric oxide boosters available in nature. It dilates blood vessels, allowing for more oxygen and nutrient delivery to your muscles. And yes, your most important, male muscle, L-citrulline. This amino acid is a precursor to L-arginine, which your body uses to produce nitric oxide. Unlike direct L-arginine supplements, L-citrulline is absorbed more effectively and works for longer periods, providing sustained blood flow support. Why this combination works individually? Each of these ingredients supports circulation, but together they work synergistically. Baking soda optimizes the environment inside your blood vessels. Beetroot floods your system with the raw material for nitric oxide, and L-citrulline ensures your body can sustain that nitric oxide production for hours instead of minutes. The result? Stronger, longer-lasting erections, better stamina, and more energy in daily life. How to take the triple performance stack? I'm going to give you the exact dosing and timing I've refined over years of clinical practice. Morning routine, empty stomach, before breakfast. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda in 8 to 10 ounces, room temperature, filtered water, wait 15 minutes. Then take 1 teaspoon beetroot powder mixed into another glass of water immediately after the beetroot. Take 1,500 milligrams L-citrulline pure powder or capsule form. Why this sequence? Because the baking soda prepares your blood vessels first. So when you introduce the beetroot nitrates and L-citrulline, your system is primed to absorb and utilize them more efficiently. Case study: the 64-year-old marathon man. One of my patients, Greg, was 64 when he came to me. He had been an athlete in his younger years but had given up on serious physical activity due to fatigue, knee pain, and what he called bedroom underperformance. He started the triple performance stack exactly as I've described, and within 3 weeks he told me, "Sarah, I feel like my legs woke up again. My wife told me I'm a different man, and I can run without feeling like my heart's going to explode." By the 3rd month, Greg wasn't just back to jogging. He signed up for a local half marathon and his intimate life. Let's just say his wife started booking more weekend getaways. Adjustments for different health conditions. If you have high blood pressure, the stack can still work wonders, but you need to monitor your sodium intake closely. Stick to 1/2 teaspoon baking soda max, and consider potassium-rich foods like spinach or avocado to balance your electrolytes. If you have diabetes, the stack can help improve circulation in ways that benefit neuropathy and overall vascular health. But you must watch your beetroot powder. Serving too much can cause a spike in blood sugar. Start with 1/2 teaspoon instead of 1 province, and adjust as you see how your body responds. The role of hydration: this protocol only works if your body is properly hydrated. Nitric oxide, blood flow, and tissue oxygenation all depend on adequate water intake. I recommend at least 2 liters of water daily for men on this stack. Without enough hydration, you're like a man trying to run a high-performance engine with half a tank of fuel. Common mistakes when using the triple stack: skipping the sequence, taking all 3 ingredients at once on a full stomach dilutes the effect. Timing matters. You want pure, organic beetroot powder, deep red in color. After 3 days, this is a cumulative effect. Stick with it for at least 4 weeks before judging results. The intangible benefits beyond the physical improvements: there's something else my patients report. A renewed sense of masculinity and self-assurance. When you know your body is ready to perform, it changes the way you carry yourself. And believe me, people notice. In the next block, I'm going to reveal how to integrate this triple performance stack into a full 24-hour male vitality plan, including evening habits that prevent testosterone crashes and keep your energy high the next morning. This is where the men who want not just better nights but better days really start to shine. When men come into my office looking for a way to bring back the energy, strength, and confidence they had decades ago, they're not just asking for a pill, a shortcut, or a magic fix. What they truly want is to wake up in the morning feeling alive again, without the slow drag of fatigue in their bones, without the constant reminders that their best years are behind them. The triple performance stack we just talked about is the foundation. But what transforms it from a good idea into a life-changing reality is what you do with the rest of your 24 hours. You see, your body is not a machine you switch on for one task and then shut off. It's a living system that responds to every choice you make. From the first glass of water you drink in the morning to the way you breathe before you fall asleep at night. That's why I want you to understand that this isn't just about circulation. It's about setting a rhythm for your body. a pattern that makes your system work for you instead of against you. Imagine this. You start your day with the baking soda, beetroot, and L-citrulline exactly as I've shown you. You feel your blood vessels opening up, your energy starting to rise. But instead of sitting down for hours and letting that potential go to waste, you get up and move, even if it's just a slow walk, a set of stretches, or a few minutes of deep breathing with your chest fully expanded. This movement tells your body, we're ready for the day and we need the blood to keep flowing. From there, you keep your meals clean and balanced, nothing heavy in processed sugars. No massive plates of pasta that make you feel sleepy in the afternoon. Protein, healthy fats, and complex carbs in small portions keep your energy steady. If you're sitting for too long, stand up every 45 minutes and walk for a minute or two. If you're under stress, and most men over 60 are dealing with more than they admit, take moments to slow your breathing, because every spike of stress hormones pulls blood away from where you want it most and into a fight or flight state. That's not just bad for your heart, it's devastating for performance. And here's the truth, most doctors won't tell you. Performance at night starts with how you live your day. You can't expect to spend hours hunched over, dehydrated, stressed, and eating the wrong foods, then magically perform like you did at 25, just because you took a supplement. The body doesn't work like that as evening approaches. There's another step that almost no one talks about but can make all the difference. More melatonin naturally. Why does this matter for male performance? Because melatonin and testosterone are linked when you improve your sleep quality. You protect your testosterone levels from dropping overnight. And when testosterone stays steady, blood flow, stamina, and recovery all improve. If you combine that with an evening ritual like light stretching or a warm shower, you'll prime your blood vessels and muscles for what's to come. Now, let's address something more intimate. The truth is, many men over 60 start avoiding intimacy because they fear failure, but avoiding it only worsens the problem. To those moments again, not just physically but emotionally, that anticipation, that mental spark, feeds into your hormonal response. Your brain sends signals to your body saying, this is important, stay ready, and your body listens. That's why consistency is so important. Skipping days, breaking the routine, or giving up after a week won't get you anywhere. But if you do this every single day, you're teaching your body to remember what it's capable of. And I have to tell you, the transformation I've witnessed in my patients is nothing short of remarkable. I've seen men who thought they were finished rediscover a level of drive and vitality they thought was gone forever. I've seen relationships saved, confidence restored, and even medical conditions improved simply because circulation, hormonal balance, and overall vitality were given the daily attention they deserved. This isn't magic. This isn't a miracle pill. It's biology. It's about giving your body the exact conditions it needs to do what it was designed to do. And the beauty of it is, once you set this in motion, the benefits start to compound. Do the triple performance stack in the morning exactly as I've laid out. Move your body throughout the day. Eat, clean, hydrate, manage your stress. Protect your sleep in the evening. Every choice you make will either add to your performance or take away from it. You're in control of that balance, and when you see the changes, and you'll realize that the life you thought you'd lost is still there, is still inside you. He's just been waiting for you to give him the tools to come back, and now you have them. All that's left is to start.